Okay. A couple more things here. One that we have not talked about, and that is the debate now that has gone on in this country 25 years, maybe a little bit more, over abortion. I have long thought that abortion has much less to do with if you're a religious person, abortion has much less to do with the rights of the unborn as it has to do with this is a line in the sand. We can say you're either against abortion or you're for abortion. And if you're against abortion, you're with us, but if you're for abortion, you're against us. And the reason I say that is, I was born in 1955. I'm going on 55 years old now. My dad was a very stalwart, upstanding member of our Missouri Synod Lutheran Church. He was an elder in the church, and he didn't give a damn about abortion until maybe 10 years ago. He didn't.
Oh, right.
When abortion started to become legal in the late 70s and the 80s, he didn't care about abortion, and neither did the church. The Catholic Church was the one that brought abortion to the forefront as a mortal sin almost. And so I have a sneaking suspicion, and it's just that most Christians today really wouldn't care about abortion one way or the other, except that somebody in the pulpit has told them that 2-week-old fetus is a human life. And it's a human life because I say it's a human life. I don't think that most Christians thought it was a human life until it was survivable outside the womb. Now, am I all wet on that one?
I think you might be to some extent, but I understand your position on it. I just don't even like to discuss abortion very much because I think it's an infringement on a woman's right
Absolutely.
to do whatever she wants with her body. And if I knew exactly when an embryo became a fetus and finally a baby, I would feel more comfortable about when abortion is right and when it's wrong. But I don't think I have the right to say to another woman that you should not have an abortion. That is up to her. And maybe I wouldn't do it myself. You know, I'm way beyond that stage in my life, but because I don't know when real life begins or when an embryo becomes or a fetus becomes a baby and a viable human being, I don't know that I would have an abortion, but I would not criticize anyone who did.
Okay.
Because they would have to come to that conclusion themselves.
In 2010, how do you view the resurgence of religious fundamentalism in this country and the fact that a great many politicians are apparently willing to co-opt a great many religious people in their quest for political power?
I think, I hate to judge everyone without knowing them personally, but I think politicians are getting on whatever bandwagon they can in order to garner votes. I think religion should be kept out of politics completely. I don't say that a person shouldn't vote or practice their profession as a politician and bring up their religion, but I don't think they can do their work without letting their religion influence them. And I have no problem with that, but I don't like the fact that they use their religion as a tool to get more voters.
Okay, well, let me put you on the spot one last time. How many atheists do you think you have some kind of a relationship with that you could pass them on the street or you could call them up and they'd say, hey, Betty, what's going on? I mean, you're a twice published atheist author. 100, 200? I'm just searching for a number here, and I'll tell you why. I once had a conversation with a woman, probably 10 years ago now, who had discovered that I was an atheist and was just shocked. She said, you're such a nice person. how can you be an atheist and be such a nice person? And I said, you know, frankly, most of the good people I've ever met, and this is not true in every case, but most of the good people I've ever met were atheists. It was the ones who thought that they could sin and be rotten and nasty and lying and deceitful and get absolved of their sins on Sunday morning or whenever. Those were the bad people. It was the mafia guy who thought he could go out and kill people 6 days a week and then show up at Catholic Mass on Sunday and go to the confessional booth and be saved. They were the bad people. So I'll put you on the spot. The Christians you've been exposed to in your life and the atheists, were there more good atheists or more good Christians?
Well, maybe I'm prejudicial in this, in my opinion, because I find that atheists are very fine people, and I've seen a lot of self-righteous Christians that I don't like to be around, where I would rather be around atheists. And as far as putting a number on the number of atheists that I have a personal relationship, I don't really have a lot of personal relationships. With atheists, but I have a lot of acquaintances that are atheists, and some I feel closer to than others. But as far as putting a number on it, I really don't know. I probably have dozens and dozens, you know.
Okay. Well, this last question's an easy one. Dare to Think for Yourself was your first book, and I'll hold it up again there. Dare to Think for Yourself. It's at all the bookstores. The latest book, which just got released just a few weeks ago, in fact, it might not show up in a lot of bookstores until the first part of April, is
Right.
the Homemade Atheist. How is the Homemade Atheist different from Dare to Think for Yourself?
The Homemade Atheist goes into more of what the Bible says and how people come up with different doctrines on the same subject from the same book. And I point those out. And I also cover a little bit of the same material in the second book that I did in the first book, but it's not in the same line of thinking. But it's always been curious to me that if God doesn't God have a standard? If he does, then why do we have so many different doctrines and different opinions about what the Bible means? Couldn't God, if he's perfect, have it written so that everyone would understand it in the same way? It just doesn't make sense to me. Maybe that doesn't answer your question.
No, you're absolutely. I mean, you're absolutely right. You would have thought that an all-powerful God could have certainly written those 10 commandments on stainless steel somewhere and put them on a post so high that nobody could reach them, or nobody could touch them or tear it down. But no, it's a very well point. Okay, so The Homemade Atheist is the latest book. Good luck. I hope you sell a million copies. I hope you sell 10 million copies. And the next time we talk, you're fabulously wealthy. Betty Brogaard, it's been a pleasure talking with you, and I'm sure we will talk in the future.
Thank you, Mark. I appreciate your giving me such encouragement.
All right. Thank you very much, Betty Brogaard.